Welcome, guys. Welcome and welcome.
Welcome.
Shit, I forgot to turn on the light. There you go. Hey, what's up, people?
What is that light behind you? It looks like OnlyFans light. Where did you get it?
Is
your OnlyFans light?
It's the OnlyFans light. Yeah, it is. It is.
Nice.
Look at that. Can I? No, I cannot show it that much. Wait. I have censored my hat brand. Oh, I jerked on myself too. What's up, guys? Welcome to Jerking Show. All right, welcome to the Yes or No podcast, guys. We're doing a live today reaction, so we're gonna watch the news, gonna react to it.
I think we're gonna get a lot of people watching today.
Followers?
No.
Followers?
I mean, we already have like 12,000 followers, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for following, guys. All right, so my name is Matt. Welcome, and this is my good friend.
My name is Arda.
Arda!
Are we doing this?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, like at the school? Present. Sure, we do. All right, so let's start.
It also means something else, you know?
What is it like? No, tell me. What's up?
I'm
a fucking bunny. All right, so tell me a joke. Like you were telling me a story. I kind of want to hear about it.
That was not a joke. I was going to share you a funny moment.
All right. Share me the funny moment.
No, okay. I work at a restaurant, as you know, as a manager, and I sometimes help people and give them their seat, and most of the times people want booth. So it was like these two gentlemen, they come in, I bring them to a booth, and I was covering a waiter. So that's the same section, so I also serve them. And when I was serving them, I kind of felt they might be gay, because they sometimes, if anybody is gay, I kind of see that they checking me out. So they look up and down, and so I'm like, all right, they might be gay. And so anyways, I serve them.
That's so
they kind of like, huh?
We started the episode really nice.
No, I mean, it's sometimes, like that's the thought comes in mind, but you don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't just jump to a conclusion that they are or not. But I was right. You are going to see at the end of the story. And then the waiter comes, and then, she starts taking orders. And she comes and tell me that they asked if I'm gay.
Oh,
because
really?
They think that I'm cute. And then she says, no, he's not gay. And they're like, really? Like, he really gives a gay vibe.
Really?
Yeah, and then she's like, no, he's not gay, he's straight. And he goes like, no, that guy touched a dick.
Really? You had to say that? Oh my God, dude. I knew it though. Like
that guy touched a dick. So I'm like, okay. But that's what I was asking her. Like, I feel like some people's gaydar is good, but I kind of break it, I think.
Or do you think it's the beard?
I think
like,
I'm so in between that it's like hard to determine where I.
Dude, you look like a bear, like with the beard and shit. Maybe they were like, I know what that guy is doing in West Hollywood in the weekend. Dancing on the podiums. Right. So we started with the news, dude. There's like 3 news. So I don't know. I just decided to share the ABC. Stream, whatever it is. Basically,
this is a total surprise for me, by the way. So
yeah, you have no news. You don't look at the news at all.
I don't. By the way, I use Ground News. Today's episode is not sponsored. No, okay.
Dude, that would be so great, though. That would be so insane.
Do you know Ground News?
Please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us.
All right. All right. Let's see what's up. So first of all, apparently there's the Fed that decided to cut the interest rate by a half point, which is bigger than usual because normally it's like less than that.
A few years ago when they started raising interest rates, many thought they were too late to react to what was happening during the pandemic, and that's why inflation really got away from them. When we saw inflation hit a 40-year high. So there were some who said, look, you need this aggressive half-point cut now to help out the job market, which has been slowing down, and to prevent the economy from maybe moving in the opposite direction, slowing down so much that
so, okay, stop. So okay, now I'm like trying to do the so they cut the interest, and that means people are gonna pull back money, which is gonna fuck up economy, kind of, no?
So basically, I don't know, like they decided not to do that because of the cost of living that went skyrocketing. So they were like hoping to cut inflation by still, keeping up the interest rates at the same level. But no, they decided that they took so long to do it properly that
They're just doing it.
they need to do it like a half point because like the economy is not starting as well as they were hoping for it. So
yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
that's what's
because
going
the
on.
reason I was thinking, I don't know if it's going to be bad for in America or not, which I'm curious because in 2021, when I went back to Turkey, the government did the same thing. They lowered the interest rates, and a lot of dollars, I think, or people start to freak out. And when that happened, the Turkish lira jumped from 8 to 12 and then 14, I think, and then just started to keep up. I think they pulled it back, but then I don't know if other factors played after that, but there was like this huge jump.
No, but the problem is like there was still recession almost everywhere else in terms of how the goods, how much they were costing to import shit and stuff like that. So I think it was a bad move back then. But here, most of the economics are saying that they took too long to actually cut the interest. So because like right now there's a crisis with the home ownership in terms of a lot of things that normally people would use credits and mortgages to finance stuff. They couldn't because it was too much. All right.
Yeah.
So
maybe later next year.
Everybody
Others
was
are saying
hoping
a half point
for a
is
while.
overkill. That it could actually believe.
Dude. I know.
This is Wall Street likes it. We were just looking at the stock market going up. What does it mean for consumers, though?
Yeah.
Can you lower the
what this
volume a little
means,
bit?
Terry, is that we are clearly on this trajectory. The Fed is very seriously now embarking on this path.
And this is where
of
you're
lower
gonna
interest
see the
rates. I do want to
bullshit.
point something out to you, Terry, from the statement from the Federal Reserve, which was just released, that there was one governor of the Fed that dissented. What that means is they didn't agree with this decision. They said instead they would have preferred that smaller rate cut, but otherwise,
Yeah, but
all
you
of
see,
the
like, it
members
doesn't
of the
like, for example, here they kind of give you an impact of what it is. Credit cards, $2 off per month. Wow, this is gonna change, everything in everybody's people life on a daily basis. Like even $98, but for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Like, really? That like if you're buying a house right now, which is costing like, I don't know. I think in the U.S. the median house is like $500,000 now, something like that. Because I think it increased in the past 2 years. Like, imagine like there's $98 difference. Which is not even the price to go to a fucking concert or some shit.
Like, as you said, like, most people are not even on the home equity line of credit and 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Like, I don't think most of the people are there. Yeah, maybe most of the people have credit card and have car loans. I can see that. But, like,
$6.
Like, it's just nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. Like, you pay $400 for whatever, a loan or whatever
this news is
you want to do. It's right now. It's right now.
Interesting. Okay.
It's right now. You see that it's still live, all right?
Yeah.
So,
The Reserve did vote in favor of this. And what that shows, there was a pretty big consensus around a half-point cut. And that shows that the Federal Reserve, as it kind of met over the last 2 days, as it looked at the economy, looked at the data that it has right now, it decided that this was the move that will ultimately result in what it wants to do, which is preserving that jobs market, like Alexis was talking about, and also continuing to keep inflation in check. So right now,
a lot of
I
people...
don't think these numbers reflecting the reality sometimes, to be honest.
Oh,
I feel like they're like tweaking it, a little bit.
I mean, first of all, inflation, like what I hate about those numbers is like when you look at inflations in general, like it's literally 2.5 regarding the previous month, meaning like still increases. It's not like, oh, it's 2.5 only this time. No, it's like 2.5 more than the month before, which was maybe 4.5. And the month before that was like 4.5 higher than the previous month. That was 7%. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's like
and they also don't show you
down.
They also don't show you the minimum wage. So it's like 3 years low maybe. As you said, it's keep going up, but the minimum wage is like not
No,
catching.
but dude, that's what I'm saying. It's not like even like minimum low in terms of that. That means just, instead of keep going, the inflation, it's trying to stabilize right now. So that means it's only increased 2.5% from last month. Meaning like in the past 3 years, I think it's like around 25 or 30% actually. Like if you take really like if over the past few years total, like the inflation just skyrocketed. It just means like instead of still going up a lot, it's going up slowly,
slowing down.
Yeah. It's slowing down. So that doesn't mean like it's 2%, from what we were paying like 3 years before. No, it means like in the past 3 years, this is the lowest. It's increasing regarding the previous months, which is fucking crazy because that's how the news is reporting it in general. It's like, oh, you see, inflation is at 2.5%. Great. Yeah, no, it's 2.5% from the previous month. It's like 30%. Did everybody paid, our salary increased that much? Absolutely not.
Yeah. There are some great videos on YouTube about showing stats on any type of like either news or someone is talking about and explaining something and giving you stats that like you should always be skeptical about it because you don't know if it's correlating thing or just there's like causality or like if I'm missing any other stat that like may give more context to this. Like it's sometimes like they throw you numbers and then they're like, you know what I mean? You're like, I don't know what the fuck
is and even here, as you're saying, like, I bet we're going to listen to her. She's going to say, oh, it's a great thing, like inflation is down and, the unemployment is not getting that much, regarding what they were expecting. Everything is great.
What that means, you asked what it means for consumers. We will expect to see rates lower when you think about mortgage rates. We've already seen them trending down. Those should continue to go lower in the months ahead. Credit card rates generally start to go lower, auto loan rates, impacts on businesses too who are taking out loans, and that's where you'll start to see this trickle throughout the American economy, Terry.
Oh, trickle down.
Okay, and just thank you. I just want to read one line from the sentence from the Fed's statement here. Quote, the committee that sets the interest rates has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving substantially toward 2%. That's its regular target. And judges that risks to achieving its employment inflation goals are roughly in balance. Soft landing there, Alexis. When will people see an effect from this?
Unfortunately, not right away. And I think what this is going to do immediately is sort of just help boost Americans' confidence, knowing they can look forward to cheaper.
I think this is also interesting, too, because when you kind of share these type of news, either, like something is changed in the economy, if you create some kind of fear and if you kind of create this like uncertainty, I think that fucks up the economy in itself to like speculation, right? So I sometimes find these type of reactions from the news outlets that they kind of give you this like information and they go like, but it's, everything is great and everything is actually going where we're expecting to go. It's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see.
That's the thing, it's always the same BS. What they're saying is like the economy is doing better than ever, and the jobs are all good. People are buying stuff again because like during the summer, blah blah blah. More goods and stuff, and then now the rates are going down, so everything is everything is perfect. And that's the whole BS they're trying to sell you. Like when I'm listening to economists every day on the radio, they're so out of touch about the reality of people and how they're living on a daily basis and how they're fucking struggling, because you're going to buy some fucking bread that costs $10 now, and 3 years ago it was like $6, and that's not the same fucking price, and you don't earn that much, difference there. It's like there's no 30%, 40% difference from there. And what is fucking crazy is the biggest scam is there's this guy from one of the biggest bank in Europe, that is the Societe Generale, all right? And the CEO back then actually said there was like around 30% inflation, and that inflation was solely created by big players. There's no reason, because they were saying first, oh, it's COVID. And then they were saying like, oh, it's the war in Ukraine. And the guy did actually like intern research. And then I'm talking about a huge bank that earned shit tons of money, right? And he actually said, no, 30% is just speculation. Meaning, like, they just screwed up everybody because, like, they lost a couple of months of money back during COVID, and then they were like, you know what? Maybe a good thing we should do. Fuck them all. And then you can see it right now. Like, you see S&P 5, you can see the Dow Jones and all that. They never made that much money, dude. The profits are fucking crazy. And now they're like, you see, like, that girl was saying, like, well, there's some people that saying, like, the interest rates are a little bit too much for what they were expecting, you know? Come on. Like, $9 for a fucking car? Like, a car, like you buying a used car and you're getting a car loan now for $400 per month, and you're gonna have like what is it, like $9? Are you kidding me? Like, that's the big change. Well, you're gonna still buy your bread $10, right? Good luck with that.
I don't know what those numbers and how they're communicating on the news. I generally don't trust it, but
to the November meeting, I'm sure, to see if the Fed's going to cut there. Most on the street expect the Fed to cut at the November meeting, the December meeting, and then, of course, based on the data, Terry, we could see at least 4 more interest rate cuts in 2025. At least that's what a number of economists are saying at the moment.
41,000. Gosh.
All right. Elizabeth Schulze and Alexis Christophers on a big day at the Fed. Thank you very much.
Big day at the Fed. All right.
Now let's go to the big news overseas.
Okay.
Fears are growing over a wider war in the Middle East after new explosions across Lebanon. The country's health ministry says at least 9 people are dead and 300 others injured in the blasts today. Several explosions were reported near a funeral for some of the victims killed in yesterday's wave of pager explosions, which targeted members of Hezbollah. Sources tell ABC News Israel was responsible for yesterday's explosions, though no one has claimed responsibility.
Wait.
So Hezbollah attacked, or
no? So basically, that is crazy, actually, because like, so it was yesterday. There was an attack on Hezbollah people in Lebanon, right?
Okay.
And
so these are the people either supporting or working something related with Hezbollah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the attack was like injured like 3,000 people. And killed 12, something like that, or 9 maybe. And I didn't see that, but actually breaking news, it says that there's another new explosion that, right now that happened, with 14 more deaths and 450 injured. That means the total is like 30 people dead and around like 3,500 injured people.
Or today's attack. Foreign correspondent Marcus Moore was near that funeral earlier today where one of the explosions went off and witnessed it. We want to warn you, these images are disturbing.
Fuck, dude.
Roll.
We don't see shit.
Explosion.
Dude.
And I saw a man whose hands were gone.
Holy fuck. That is fucked up, dude. So, all right, so I saw a couple of videos for people that's gonna watch it. So basically there's the thing, all right? So yesterday there was this explosion. People were wearing pagers, you know, pager with those old school stuff when you receive just the text, you know, back in the 90s. And basically some of those like exploded. And what struck me was like the way
the pager exploded?
Yeah, the pager exploded.
Shit, all right.
So that's where, you know, like there's like 9 dead and it was a kid, or 12 dead, and it was like 1 children that died and 3,000 injured. Because when I was seeing the videos, because you can check them out online, because I don't think we can show it here, it's fucking crazy. So sometimes it's just like a guy that is just dropping his pager, you know, while doing grocery shopping, and then the person that is next, which is like the cashier, right, the girl working at the cash register, bam, the shit explodes next to her. Like, she's not Hezbollah, she's a civilian, right? And that happened like like you can see like those CCTV, you know, cameras where you can see that happening like at the same time across Lebanon, in Beirut, and in different places. So it's not like they decided to, you know, kill Hezbollah, you know, people that are bad, obviously, and by dropping a bomb in a fucking military base or something like that. They decided to just, you know what, let's text something, and it explodes into people's faces, hands, pockets, in the face of other people that are around, civilians, whatever. Nobody gives a shit. And then it's the same thing right now. Like, you're seeing that. It's like, it's fucking terror, dude. It's there. And that is the fucking crazy part that I'm seeing from the news today. And especially in France. They're like, oh, there's some explosions there. There's this, there's that, you know. And some of the people actually said, oh, they did a good job, because when everybody said that it was actually Israel that was responsible for it, you had like literally fucking commenter on TV that were saying like they did a good job. Israel did a pretty good job, you know.
Like because they did the bombings with the pagers. It was Israel behind it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
is it true though?
Yes, it is. It is. It's the U.S. actually is fucking say that. So like you had like fucking French journalists on TV literally saying, you know, well, the targeted people was great, and you're like, what do you mean it was great? Like you get like more than 3,500 people,
or some of them
that are injured. And you see there were civilians there. Like, I don't think, like, maybe you saw the fucking flag, for sure, for Hezbollah, but I'm not saying, like, everybody, you know, around there were Hezbollah 100%. And it's the same thing with what happened, like, yesterday when I was seeing those videos, people doing fucking grocery shopping, all right? So the girl at the cash register, I don't think she's Hezbollah either. I don't think she had, like, to fucking have her face blown up by a fucking pager. And people at the TV, they're like, wow. They did a pretty good job. Like, where in the fucking hell, dude? Where in the fucking hell are we agreeing on that shit? You know? Like, fuck terrorist, right? Fuck Hamas. Fuck, you know, Hezbollah if you want. But since when it's okay to fucking make fucking explosion into the face of kids and shit like that from miles away? You're like, okay, send a text. And then everybody fucking explodes. Like, how? How the fuck is not human? And when I'm seeing the fucking news, they're like, oh, this is like James Bond type of shit. Some other, they're like, explosion, you know, how Israel, you know, armed some thousands of people. And people were victim of an attack. And the operation was a really good plan. Like, how the fuck, in this fucking world, there's this double standard where we're like, okay with this shit. Like, imagine tomorrow you walking in fucking Los Angeles, and because I don't know, some other country didn't like some military people, they decided to fucking explode people around you. How would you fucking react to that? How would you fucking
They would
say
declare
anything?
war, probably.
Dude, in the fucking second. And like, how this fucking shit is? Like, did you see the fucking faces of the people running around? This is literally fucking terror, dude. This is terror. So how can we not fucking saying on TV, in the fucking news, that Israel right now is a fucking terrorist group too? Like Netanyahu's fucking government. Like, this is terrorist fucking tactics.
Whose hands were gone.
Fucking terrorist tactic, dude. Like, they're saying, you know, wow, about October 7, like Hamas, when they came, you know, with all the fucking bullshit they did, it was terrorist attack, and it was fucking crazy. I don't see the fucking difference here. Like, you walking around, doing your fucking grocery, living in a fucking shitty country where there's not tons of fucking money, and it's pretty difficult for the past few years, economic-wise and political-wise, and then, bam, you get your fucking arm exploded. Because some motherfuckers, you know, from a couple of miles ago, they're like, yeah, we don't like you. What the fuck is wrong, dude? Dude, you're from there. No, I'm kidding. But you're close to it. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's too much, but...
No, I mean, like these kind of like in Turkey, for example, there are terrorist groups, as you said, does these kind of things, but you don't really see it a country's government do it. Like that's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like declaring war almost. Like if you said that this is like this Israel confirmed that we did it.
Or it's the U.S. that confirmed it's the Israel.
But they're not saying. I'm curious what they are. What the? I mean, if they,
on the news, it literally says Israel. So
yeah, because the Israeli government, if you go to another country, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a bomb, and then you explode it, and civilians die. Like in many countries, as you said, if you do it in France, like let's say Turkey said that sent some pagers or phone or whatever in France, exploded it, and then multiple civilians died. I mean, that's like declaring war almost. Like send a missile in or something. You know, it's just.
But even the tactics for me, it's even crazier.
Yeah, it's pretty much terrorist attack. Yeah, terrorist
it
attack.
It is terrorist
kind of
attack.
Yeah.
It's like it's literally the same way you fucking do it.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't like. That's an interesting. I don't know if there any government does these type of like terrorist attack kind of things like this. Like I don't remember if there's an example.
But when people are saying like it's like
when
some
that explosion happened,
James
especially
Bond
after
shit,
yesterday's events, which you've been covering.
Well, Terry, it was completely unexpected. We were there in the Dahia district, which is the Hezbollah stronghold, where hundreds of people had gathered for a funeral for four.
I mean, could you imagine that guy could have been fucking killed?
Related to them who had
to a fucking journalist. They don't give a shit
from the pager explosions, and just as the funeral was getting underway. We heard this loud explosion and then saw the man who was badly injured. And you heard and saw in the video
badly
there was absolute chaos. People running in every direction. We saw the carnage, that man who was injured. And we also saw who we presume were members of Hezbollah's security team responding to that specific site where the injured man was, trying to assess what exactly was happening. But nobody knew, Terry, and people went running, and you heard the screams. We also backed up as quickly as we could as we tried to figure out exactly what was happening.
That is fucking crazy.
And then
that means they waited for people to do.
According to reports,
like I think this is almost not just an act of war. I think it's a war crime too, because like people were at the funeral. I think one of the only thing you can have like through wars in general is you get sometimes to leave the people to be with their family, and then when they need to do funeral, that's the only thing you that is almost allowed throughout war, is like burying the people that you're with, meaning like they targeted because they knew that people were gonna do funeral because obviously people died yesterday, and they were like, hey, joke's on you again, boom. And how not everybody's saying that, because like right now, like ABC is just reporting that as a neutral stance, like so this is what happened, this is what we saw, this is what happened, this is what we saw. But okay, but you're journalists too, like journalists like look at how the law in the world is made up, how the United Nations, and Geneva Conventions and all this shit, work all together, and you can be like critique about it. I'm not saying like you have to take a stance. I'm just saying like you can say maybe there's something more fucked up basically than just this is 14 dead and
when
this guy died. And
the bombing happened?
I mean, apparently this morning or today.
This morning?
Yeah.
I'm also curious what Israel gonna say. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It feels like.
I mean, what they said is like Netanyahu, I think a few days ago, said that he wants to get rid of Hezbollah too, like the same way he wants to deal with Hamas. He said that he wants to do the same with Hezbollah. But the problem here, it's not even like Hezbollah, because Hezbollah, the most part of Hezbollah, ground Iran. Forces is like in the south of Lebanon, right, next to the border of Israel. But like he attacked Beirut, which is the capital that is in the middle of Lebanon. So it's not like so it's fucking crazy, man. And nobody is fucking reacting. Like there is such a double standard right now It is crazy.
Simultaneous blast that happened at that very moment. But Terry, it's important to point out that the people we saw today, as this funeral was just getting underway, we saw the mothers of some of the, it is one of the children who was killed yesterday, as well as other members of Hezbollah. But there were women and children and also men all there in this one spot when this blast happened just at the start of this funeral, Terry.
Yeah, that is really, really disturbing. And once again, glad you and your team there are safe. And I understand that, Marcus, you've got some new details about communications between Israeli and American officials prior to yesterday's attacks. What can you tell us?
Well, we understand from U.S. officials that the U.S. officials were notified that there was going to be some type of operation yesterday, that the Israelis told them of this, that there had been some meetings. What was not discussed, we understand, were details of exactly what this operation would be. And certainly all the indications we have from U.S. officials at this point is that they were not aware, they weren't involved, nor were they aware that
of course, it's a fucking crime, dude. It's a war crime.
Simultaneously at numerous locations across Lebanon. And that's the latest information we have on that, Terry. And I think it's important because when we were at the hospital today, at the American University Hospital, one of the main trauma centers here in Beirut, where at least 190 patients were brought for treatment, we spoke to the uncle of one of the men who was badly injured. And he was of the belief, he said that if the Americans said that they didn't know what was happening, he said that they are liars. And so I think that speaks to the belief when you talk to a number of people here in Beirut or in Lebanon, they say the U.S. had to have known what was going to happen.
I mean, at least a bit. Like, if they knew something was up, I bet they knew what was going to happen. Especially since they did it before.
For sure, understandably. And as I say, Israel has not taken credit or claimed victory in this wave of attacks. Sources do tell us and others that Israel was behind the pager explosions yesterday. And we've just heard from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. What's he saying?
Oh, my God.
Now, certainly we have the Israelis, as we've seen in the past, don't claim responsibility, have not claimed responsibility for any of these operations that happen on foreign soil. And while sources have claimed that they were involved, they are not confirming that. One of the things that we've heard often from Israeli officials, though, is that they are dead set on protecting Israelis. We've heard Netanyahu say himself that their military goals will be met, and that they will fight Hezbollah in every way possible to make it safe for people in the northern part of Israel, and that they are fighting this war on multiple fronts, and certainly that won't stop in the midst of what we've seen here in recent days.
Dude, it's such a fucking coward stance, It's like, we're not saying it's us, but we are really happy that, that happens, because we definitely want to fuck up, Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, all of that. So if stuff happens to them, I mean, good for us. Like, how? Like, it was proven even in Iran, they attacked Beirut, a few months ago to kill some guy from Hamas and another guy from Iran. Like, they decided to drop a bomb on the embassy of Iran. Like, what the fuck? And now we have to believe that they don't say, it's them, but they are happy. Like, what the fuck is wrong, Like, I was there in the 90s, guys. I'm old as fuck. And I do remember when, there was like Iraq invasion, and all that, the Kuwait war and shit like that. Like, I think any fucking small drop of those were like, everybody everywhere on the earth, and especially in the media, they were going to fucking go crazy and be like, this is the worst thing that happens in the world. We need to fucking go full-blown war to shit and stuff like that. Like, even if we take 9/11 or other terrorist attack here, in France and in the US, like even in Turkey, Like, countries like the US and France, they decided to go to war against other countries in the world that are not responsible for the terrorist group that are over there. And it never worked. And here, we're okay. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what it's disturbing to me generally is like European countries or America, and those are generally the countries that pick a side, even though they kind of like don't say anything or diverge, but they pick a side. I mean, I would be even okay they don't pick a side and make a little bit more objective. Like they look at this situation and says like, okay, what happened is fucked up because like civilians died. But as you said, they're not like, oh, Hezbollah is killed, so that's good, even though civilians are died. So I think that's like there is no objective look from those countries. That to me is the bothering part. And they actually pick a side and says like, no, we support Israel, and they have the right to protect themselves when other civilians, other people who have every right to live there, practice their culture, practice their religion, flourish, but they don't support those people. They almost like I bet some Americans and Europeans sees all of those people as like terrorists or something, and then they go like it's kind of like Islamophobia. Yeah.
But this double standard is like, it's fucking crazy. Like, Israel had the right to defend himself. All right, I agree with that. You know, Ukraine has the right to defend itself. France has the right to defend itself. Turkey, whatever country.
Yeah.
All right, I agree. You've been attacked. You want to defend yourself. But here, regarding Hezbollah and Lebanon, they didn't attack. They didn't create like a fucking attack. Like, they retaliated for Israel that dropped the bomb. I'm not talking about the whole history, right, about what happened like even 15 years or 20 years ago, but still, like, in this conflict, not that much. And here, you literally have an attack in their country. I would defend myself too.
I mean, if you go really, really back, like maybe 100 years ago, Israel was not even there. So, I mean, you can go as much as, if you go 2,000 back, there was like the kingdom of Israelites. Okay. I mean, I don't think, you know, like, it's hard when I go too much back. Like, it's really, who is owned what, and then who deserves or not. Like, it gets really blurry.
Yeah.
But right now, you can definitely, it's the power dynamics. Like, that's what I learned.
I agree.
That's what I learned in US, for example. Before, when I was living in Turkey, you were exposed to this nationalism so much, like they kind of create this sense of like Turkish people are good and anybody doing anything else, attacking or doing anything, are bad.
Yeah.
But when I come to US and when you look at US history, you see like even if you look at black people and African American slavery in United States, and there's like the white people, right? And when you look at that history, you can definitely see some version of white people saying like, well, black people are racist too, or black people did this, black people did that, up and down.
Yeah.
But you don't compare that. Like, you need to compare the power dynamic. White people making the laws,
the power,
they have the police, they have the government, so they're making some rules that making so many black people suffering. And if you don't see it that way, and you just look at the behaviors, oh, they did this, so we can do this. Like, you cannot justify it that way. So Israeli-Palestinian situation is like, yeah, they did this, and we were going to do this. No, Israel is so fucking powerful. Like, they have almost, like, I would say, like, the military force of United States behind them also.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like there's no even, like, it's so different.
The scale
what power
is not the
they
same,
have.
100%.
So you cannot compare it like, oh, they attacked us, so we attack back. Like, yeah, I mean, you need to sustain the situation. You need to do something. But the way that they are kind of reflecting this, there's definitely a power dynamic. It's not fair. And what they're doing is the government of Israel, I would point out that government specifically
Of course.
is corrupt and fascist.
Yeah. That's true. But I don't know, man. I don't know how these things are gonna go because, like, even theirs was pretty neutral. But I bet, on some of the other TV, they're like, "Oh, the expansion of the conflict." Like, fuck, dude, it's not a conflict. It's a fucking genocide. What happened in Gaza? They are still, doing some ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, and now they are attacking another country. Like, what the fuck?
And and then nobody says anything in U.S. and Europe.
Yeah,
it's like,
and I'm not saying that like to defend or to go against. I'm not like anti-Semitic. I'm not anti nothing. But I'm just saying, like, you just take the fucking fact. The fact is you get this. You get children killed. You get people dying. You get the most children being killed in the past 10 months than the past 20 years everywhere on Earth, in terms of any conflict. Like, these are the facts. Like, civilians are dying, like, in a greater number than ever before. Like, these are facts, Like, you can see there's, like, some fucked up with journalists. The more journalists killed in a conflict since the past 40 years, I don't know, something like that. I'm just take my numbers, whatever. But it's like definitely more than 100 journalists killed in the Gaza conflict. So those are fact. You see, United Nations trucks getting shot by the Israeli, IDF army. Those are facts. I'm not saying that on the other side, like, nobody did anything. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's no rockets and things going on like that. But in terms of, as you were saying, the power dynamics and the reality of the numbers and the people dying, the civilians dying, and the destruction, the level of destruction, like, we should be aware of, like, okay, this is fucking crazy. Like, I don't understand why I can watch the news and they're showing Ukraine and some part of Ukraine being like, oh, look at the devastation. Like, the city is totally burned down. And then we don't say shit about Gaza. Like, how?
Yeah. Like, even in, like, like Star Wars, I don't know if you remember this, like, we were on the side of the rebellion. Do you see those kind of videos?
Yeah.
Like, we were on the side of the rebellion. We were against the empire, which is, I mean, in that, like in Star Wars, there's this power dynamic too. Like, they have the Death Star and it's like this whole military forces, right? And then you're not on the side of that. Because what Darth Vader is doing is he's trying to bring peace to the universe too, in some sense. That's at least like what he's, but by force, by using the power that he has. And even before, like, that Anakin, like that myth of becoming Darth Vader, like, even there, like, he always see, I'm like powerless. I need to be more powerful to control the things, dictate things, and create a world that I want, whatever his vision is. So it's like, even in that story, that's like, I sometimes see videos talking about this. Like, we were on the side of the rebellions in that story.
Of course, because they want just freedom, and the other one the goal and the vision of something that he wants to impose to other people. And it's the same here.
Yeah.
Like Netanyahu saying, like, we want to get rid of, by all means, Hezbollah. Okay, there you go. Fucking explode their telephones. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
what
not
else in
gonna
the
bring
news?
peace.
You just want to see what's next after that.
Well, here on this side of the world, rapper Sean Diddy Combs, he will appear in federal court in just a little while to appeal a judge's ruling to hold him.
Nice segue.
Nice segue. Yeah, I mean, on this side of the world, there's something terrible happening too. Developing sex trafficking with the Sean Diddy Combs. P-Diddy, Puffy, Puff. There you go. So a couple of kids, dying in the street, but here we got P-Diddy with thousands of bottles of baby oil.
So I remember watching, like, a trailer of the documentary that he was doing sex trafficking, right? And this is about it.
I mean, I think it was just allegation before.
Nobody
really proved it, and he got arrested finally. Yeah, like 2 days ago or something.
Okay, all right.
And that's the funny part is they found the thousands bottles of baby oil. And everybody was like talking about it, online. They were like, okay, imagine this one. Like, it's maybe like 2 bottles of baby oils or 1 bottle and a half. So just imagine now thousands of this. And they were like, okay, this is 3 gallons. And it's not like you need 33 bottles of 3 gallons or some shit. They're like fucking crazy about it. But yeah, let's see what they're saying.
He's trying not to spend another night locked behind bars after he pled not guilty to 3 felony charges of racketeering and prostitution yesterday. Prosecutors allege Combs led a years-long criminal enterprise involving human trafficking, drugging, and abusing women. Combs continues to deny all of these accusations, and his attorney insists all interactions with these women were consensual. If convicted, the Grammy winner could spend the rest of his life in prison.
I like the fact that he has the guts to say it's consensual, but he still has 1,000 bottles of baby oil at home. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure it's consensual, but even 1,000, like it's like, I would say it's like 99
but here's the thing.
100 gallons of baby oil. What the fuck
I remember back, what was his name? There's this guy who go through something similar.
Dude, I have so many in mind. So that I was not like.
Are you thinking Epstein or something?
No, I was talking. You see, guys, it's fucking crazy. Like you just think about one name, and then there's all different names there and there and there and there.
No, this guy was I think doing like some kind of fight, like as a sport.
No, I think he was just also like spreading influencer. That's it.
Yeah, alpha male.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. There's this.
So, Andrew Tate also accused or maybe arrested. I'm not sure what happened.
He was arrested, I think, in Romania or some shit, or in Georgia.
Yeah, and then
in Europe.
They sued him because of sex trafficking in general. So I was watching some videos about it, and what some people were talking about, if you're doing some kind of like sex trafficking or something related with prostitution, like just because women give consent, like that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not guilty. Yeah. Like there's this thing called maybe diversion or something. I don't know. It's basically implies that what you're doing to convince someone to work in that, or what is your relationship to that person to influence that person in to do a sex work for you. So it's not just like, oh, I didn't force them. I didn't put a gun in their head. It's not, doesn't cut it. So it's, and
but I looked them up.
Of the day, huh?
But I looked them up
and at the end of the day, like prostitution is also illegal in some countries and states.
Yeah.
I think he was also making the case like this is not prostitution. It's like video, like cam.
Yeah, cam.
Like erotic, blah blah, whatever.
But you still. It's still sex work, at the end of the day.
Yeah, like think about it like OnlyFans, I guess, but then he was managing them and then he was finding clients or whatever. But again, in that case, I think it was important like how he was treating women, how he was influencing women in. Yeah. Like he had these like strategies and techniques to sell the idea and then lock them into that an agreement or some kind of thing. So it's more than just like, someone giving consent and making a choice.
Dude, at the end of the day, you're a pimp. And pimp means you're getting money from somewhere else, earning money. And it's not legal. So that's the problem.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people don't see it. And that's why I want to go back to that. Like if someone says, oh, well, they give me consent. Some people are like, well, maybe they give consent to him. And he was like, there's nothing wrong with it or some shit.
Yeah, but you can sign contracts for anything. And if it's illegal, it's still illegal.
Yeah, you can still get abused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the other rapper that I was talking about was R. Kelly. For also child, trafficking too or something like that. And he's in jail. So, bye. And that's so funny because like, it's so obvious and it takes so long. And this is so bad for the victims in general because it can take so long to fucking realize that. Like, don't fucking bullshit me that everybody that was going to P-Diddy house, signing an NDA, seeing weird girls getting locked and fucked and they were not happy and shit like that. Nobody's fucking said anything.
I don't get NDAs, to be honest.
Yeah,
like it's just it's like bullshit agreement. It feels like sometimes like if you are making a criminal thing, and sign an in, and like it shouldn't be a thing.
I think it's not valid.
Yeah. So
I don't know. But
anyways,
but it's the same thing. Like in France and Me Too and all those things. Like I was working in the music industry back then, and dude, that was fucking crazy, and I never changed, and nobody's talking about it. But when I was going out, into nightclubs, and you get like a 16 years old that is on the arm of this under, the, I don't know, on like crossing arms with the fucking famous singers that is 50 years old, to go to a nightclubs that she's not allowed, but because she's a model, and then they go fucking snort some coke in there, and then it's like, okay, who's next to get fucked? Like you're like, it's problematic, And then you see that motherfucker on TV, with the grandma the next day, and he's like, yeah, I'm really, like you, I like grandma, and I like, people, in the small country, those little people. And you're like, dude, I saw you yesterday, fucking 16 years old, snorting some fucking coke, and gang rape, 14 years old in your apartment. So what the fuck, That's the fucking reality of this industry.
Did you see the Red Hot Chili Peppers solist and that guy? Did you see the news with him?
Yeah, I think he's dating a young
19-year-old or something. Yeah. What do you think about that? Because, I mean, that's like such a, like, and I think I was watching someone else saying like he also had an incident with a underage or something. I don't know the details of what it was, but like that's the thing. The industry, these kind of things are like some people are just fucked up, and like it's hard to prove it. As you said, like especially when you're a celebrity, I guess, and like you need to get evidence, you need to make a case, and then you need to. And I know I don't know why it's taking so long, but I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get better at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we know well, dude. It's the power dynamics again.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, true. Wow. We had a new dark
news. Dark reaction
video.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
But we're going to have fun. What the fuck?
Hey, fun.
It's not always fun.
It's like not always
reality.
Fun. Exactly, But anyway, it still goes to what we talk about in our podcast, guys. You can find us at Yes and No Podcast everywhere. So come and check it out.
All right, guys. Well, today's reaction videos was a little bit dark, but I think we need to sometimes pay attention to the shit happening in the world. I think turning our faces and act like nothing is happening. No. Like, we should fucking sometimes talk about that shit. And, well, next one will be a little bit more chill.
Yeah, hopefully.
Something chill. We'll see.
Yeah. So, don't forget to check our podcast. We're on YouTube.
Yes and No
TikTok,
Podcast.
Everywhere. See you guys.
See you guys.